to see if we're live here. Now we are. We are live. My little thing was spinning. I wasn't sure what was going on. It's different on this side of the glass, folks. So, welcome to July. Have you been outside?
No, don't do it. No, don't.
Don't do it. It's hot out there. It's miserable. And the monsoons are starting. So, July is our month where it's not quite as hot as June, but we get these storms that come rolling in. Some of them can be rather spectacular and some of them can be rather damaging. So, we shall see what this summer brings. Looks like it's going to be a wet one, and that would be good. Last year was painfully hot and I was gone. So, I had that going for me. Anyway, so what's going on when I look at the real estate numbers? Now, I came out with a video last night showing a whole slew of data, and you can check back and watch that one. But I'm going to kind of tee up where we are today in July, and it always starts with interest rates, and they're just kind of hanging in there, folks, low sevens. And it depends on where you look. You can look on Zillow, and they'll give you different rates. You can go to Bank Rate. I like looking at Mortgage News Daily. This is a survey of lenders, and it has some assumption around it. It says here, learn about our rate survey. So it's giving you an average of 7.07. Obviously, you can get a lower rate somewhere, and if you really want to, you can get a higher rate somewhere. I don't think any of you want to do that, but it all depends on how much you're putting down, what your credit score is, your debt to income ratio. That's why we tease Pat, what's my rate, McMasters? If you go online, you can find a rate. Call a mortgage broker. They're going to say, tell me how much you're putting down. Let me pull your credit. Let me look at your debt to income ratio, and then let me find you the best rate and the best fees. So that's what I always recommend, is having somebody shop the rate for you instead of you cruising around online, because they don't really show you all the fees, do they? I'm going to kind of read this to you a little bit here. There's still plenty of building permits being sought for new single-family homes. There were 2,740 issued in May for Maricopa and Pinal counties, which is up 22% compared with May last year when we counted 2,246. So about 500 more homes. It brings a year-to-date total to 13,689 for the first 5 months of 2024. While this is less than for all 11 years from 98 to 2008, it's the third highest total since 2007, and it's up 56% from 2023. Those who are selling resale homes will have much more competition if they're in the area which has a lot of new construction going on. I'll show you in the chart below. This is one of the reasons why the CMI is below 80 in locations such as Buckeye, Maricopa, and Queen Creek. There's lots of both new build and resales available in the location, and buyers have been showing strong preference for new owner resale over the past few years. And I'm going to take a look at that as well. Going to go into some real detail there. In more central locations, there are relatively few vacant land areas for developers to build on. This helps keeping a lid on supply in places like Chandler, Tempe, Phoenix, Glendale. You know the drill. So you're sitting here and looking and saying, well, there's not a whole lot of room to build here in Chandler, so the Cromford Market Index is higher. So it's definitely better for sellers and buyers, but you're getting the living daylights beat out of you down here if you are a seller, because of the competition from new builds. How long that hangs in there, I don't know. That's anybody's guess, but we're going to take a look at a few numbers here. And Danielle, welcome. What's your take on the future of the Verde Valley, Cottonwood, Camp Verde, Cornville? Bought 2.5 acres land in Cornville in February. Not sure what I'm going to do with it. Turn it into an RV park and I'll be up there. I don't know. That's a hard area to predict. It's kind of nice up there. I like it. I really don't follow land that much. Land all depends on availability, just like homes. So, I don't expect the price of the land to start skyrocketing up. But if you bought some land that's next to a new development, let's say you a few years ago bought up in North Phoenix before they put in the Taiwan chip plant, how lucky would you be? So that's really the only thing that influences land purchases, and hard for me to, put a finger on it and predict. But put an RV park up there and I'll be there. Active listings. I thought going into summer that we'd see a slight downturn, and only because we have in the past. And what we're seeing is a slight uptick, not because we're having more new listings, because you can see here, we are seeing an uptick of new listings coming in this week, and they're being followed by new contracts, pretty steady, 2,850. That's higher than what we've been seeing. So we've seen lows of 2,200. We're going to get there this week as you get into the 4th of July. That number is going to dip, and there'll be no reason to go back and look at that chart because it's just going to fall like a rock as we get into the 4th of July in 3 days. And, who's going to be out looking for homes? Like I said earlier, have you been outside? Good morning, John. Good to see you here. So, July, we're not selling a lot of homes. If you look at the Cromford Market Index in total, thank you, Danielle. I appreciate that. If you look at the Cromford Market Index in total, it's telling you that things are softening up and not softening up quickly, but this chart is not turning in the other direction. So if you're a buyer and you're saying, should I wait? This gives you hope. Doesn't give you hope for large price decreases because we haven't seen that, but asking prices are starting to come down. Not anything earth shattering, but they are starting to come down. And the total Cromford Market Index is 103. So you're in what's called a balanced market. And you can see it here. Here's our supply index, which means supply is better than normal. Our market index is yellow here, which means we're balanced. And this is in total, not in Chandler or Gilbert. And the demand is red, 76.8. So a little soft out there for demand, but it's not as bad as some doom and gloomers are telling you it is. Here's our inventory. Looking at the days of inventory is 109. The days of inventory excluding under contract and contingencies is 93. Kind of goes up and down like my EKG. Active listings showing here that it's 21,000. Here's 18,206. Apples to apples showing the same number of listings that are without under contract and contingencies. In other words, how many active listings are out there that nobody's written an offer on? That's what I like to look at. Those under contract, they're going to come and go a little bit, and they're going to fall out. And that makes a difference of about, it looks like 25 to 3,000 homes in total. Monthly change is, let's see, in the red here, up 46.9%. Under contract is going down. And that happens in the summertime anyway, but a little bit worse this summer. Monthly change in expired listings, not really anything to see there. We're not seeing anything spike up. Canceled listings, same thing there, 1,760. It is showing an annual change of 55%. So people have put their homes on and saying, didn't work, gonna try something else. List price per square foot. This is the one where we're starting to see some prices come down. Now, here's the interesting chart I wanted to share with people. It's really busy, I know. And this shows monthly home sales by transaction type. So let me highlight some of the colors here for a moment with my handy dandy magnifying glass. The ones in the top there, the very top light blue, and then the second color down, what those are is investor flips, normal non-MLS sales. In other words, somebody sold a house without going through the multiple listing service. Those are usually wholesalers or you selling to your neighbor. And then this dark blue is normal MLS sales, 5,567. Down on the very bottom is new home sales. Now, we just went back here and we read some numbers here talking about new home sales and saying, they're up. But when I look at, oh, that's not what I want. We're going to get to that. This is kind of what sticks out to me. New home sales are higher as a percentage of total sales. Because when you look at this, new home sales have been kind of hanging steady with the same number every month. But the percentage of the total market has changed because these numbers have gone down. Normal MLS numbers have dipped. Normal flip sales have dipped. And therefore, this number that really hasn't changed that much has changed as a percentage. In other words, now our percentage of new home sales might be closer to 30%, where it used to be 15%. But the total number of sales, and that's the way data is. You can dissect it all you want. You're sitting there at 1,900 homes. Let's go back to 2021. was 2,200 homes. So again, the number of homes are not flying off the shelf as far as the total number of sales. When you're looking at the pool of homes that are being sold, percentage-wise, you're gravitating more towards the new homes than you are the resale homes because of all the incentives that they're offering, with exception of a swimming pool. Now, they're offering you $50,000 for upgrades, landscaping stuff. Trust me, you're going to need it. And window coverings, depending on the builder, rate buy downs, the whole 9 yards, great incentives. But a swimming pool, that's going to cost you $75,000 to $100,000. You can find a good deal in a resale home. So don't discount those when you're out looking here. Daniel says, agree with your comment about the chip plant. My friends live in Anthem Desert Hills. They're sitting pretty. Yeah, that's a golden spot to be right now. Here's an interesting one. This is the Cromford contract ratio heat map. It's kind of fun to look at. See these dark colors here? This means frenzied. The market was frenzied. So I'm looking at this week in July of 2021, and you can see all the brown colors here, right? The market was crazy. All you had to do was stand on your front porch and go, I'm thinking about selling my house. And you get 5 offers. It's tough for real estate agents because you're out showing homes and you're pulling up and you see 10 people in line. You're like, oh, man. And you got to make a decision in the driveway. So I'm glad those times are behind us. Let's go ahead another year. Let's go to, let's see, I haven't really scrolled down on this much. 1920, I'm going to go to 22 July. And here we are here, April, June, July 4th, here we are. Watch the colors change. Tick tock, here they come. Not as much brown, huh? Started to slow down. The brown areas in the frenzied market. Hotter is Tempe, Chandler again, South Chandler here, 85226, areas of Peoria. Down here in South Phoenix, 85035, and up here in 85027, and portions of Gilbert. Buckeye has a ton of new construction. Yeah, Buckeye, yeah, it's especially Buckeye. Now, this is June 8th, 2024. That's not what I wanted to pull up. I wanted to pull up 2023. Well, how did that get away from me here? I may be wasting your time on this thing. It gets kind of hard to scroll this around, but bear with me. Let's do it again. Make another cup of coffee. So here we go. I'm getting down here to, I want July, first week of July, 2023. That's what I'm looking for. Go, go, go. And I must have clicked something wrong. I'm getting closer here, folks. See this? I don't get to just put the date in. Otherwise, I would. Boom, boom, boom. We're almost there. And we are down to February, March, April, May, June, July, right there. Click. Boom. Okay, now what? Okay, much hotter. So you can see that from last year to this year, these frenzied markets have gone poof. They've gone away. And they've made way for a more balanced market. And so that indicates for the buyers that you can get more from your seller. The average contribution from a seller now is still holding steady, about 9,400 units. Going into July, there really isn't anything coming that's going to change that. Yeah, we're going to have another round of CPI numbers, but even if the CPI numbers come in incredibly nasty and they're too high, it's really not going to change the market that much. If it comes in really favorable, will interest rates come flying down? They could, but by the time the interest rates come down, July will almost be over. So the month of July, you can count on it being right where we're at today, steady as she goes. What's interesting, too, is I bumped into this as you look at the doom and gloom of car sales. Oh, my gosh, it's awful. Actually, they're going up. I found that interesting. It's not related to real estate, but people have been holding off buying cars for a while. Total vehicle sales are up. They're only up about 1.6%. But considering all the recession talk and how bad things are, that number kind of surprised me a little bit. Looking forward again to July, areas like Paradise Valley see the biggest decrease. Luxury homes, buyers are not flying in and taking a look at homes to buy in July because who wants to move in July. But there is a lot going on because our schools start at the end of July out here. So if you're not from Arizona and you're thinking of moving out here and putting your kids in school like after Labor Day, you're going to be about a month and a half late. So they start about the third week of July. And then they get 2 weeks off in October. So it's quite a bit different schedule. So keep that in mind if you're bringing kiddos out here from another state. I know it surprised me. They actually started it after I moved here. They were kind of on a normal schedule. I moved out here from Rochester, New York in 1996 and got my boys into the Chandler Unified School District. Kind of worried. My oldest son was in the 4th grade. I think he came into 5th grade, and I thought, boy, I hope he makes friends. And he sits down, and the kid across the aisle from him just moved out here from Rochester, New York. I says, wow, good for you. That's cool. And car sales are going up like new home sales due to incentives coming back from the manufacturer. I have a friend that's an executive with Ford. They have excess inventory. Thanks for sharing that. No more supply chain issues either. Yeah, we weren't buying because you couldn't find them. Boy, remember during COVID, you go by the car lots, they're just empty. Like 6 cars. You even think about pulling in the driveway and you got 7 salesmen poof, hovered over your car. It's just, but at that point, places like at that time, Carvana was doing great. Why? They deliver the car to you. They buy your car. They show up. That's how I sold my truck. They showed right up. No, they sold my car to Carvana. And they showed up in the papers. I signed them sitting out in my patio. They towed the car away. And I went out and got my truck. So it was pretty good, but it was hard to try to find anything. Hey, we had a big real estate sale in the valley here. It went for something about 11 million. A little disappointed. I would have loved this house. It's got 2 pools, but look at the views. You're sitting up there and you got views of Camelback Mountain and Mummy Mountain. And the person that sold this is the wife of the ex-president of Wells Fargo, the one that got the boot because of all the bookkeeping shenanigans that were going on at Wells Fargo. Didn't seem to affect them too much, did it? But wouldn't you love to have this view? Be sitting out there with a glass of wine at sunset in March, not July. So that's what's going on in the market right now. If you have any questions, shoot me an email, rick@rickhelps.com, and please use the link below to sign up for my newsletter. Comes out every Monday morning at 7 o'clock. Just as a quick recap, shows you some Cromford market data, some mortgage data, and then I offer my opinion, which is worth about 2 cents. And John says, you mentioned due to TMC, Anthem might be a good spot. Thoughts on Vistantia? Very bullish on Vistantia. It's a nice area. People are moving there like crazy. And in fact, Ruby showed some homes out there yesterday for us. And the clients that were out visiting from upstate New York really like that area. They're comparing that area to Gilbert, trying to figure out where they want to relocate when they come out here in September. And she took them out to that part of town. It's very appealing. Now, if you're living out there and you're commuting to Phoenix, that's a rough one. Is there a wait list for Blackstone? I do not know. I will have to ask that question. Golf. I do not know. I don't think they're at the point where there's wait lists in a lot of our new construction areas right now. Permits are starting to slow down just a little bit as builders they don't want to get ahead on their skis. That's a good thing. We want to see that. We don't want to see this flood of new homes and then people sitting out there having fire sales. So we'll see what happens. We'll continue to watch it as the summer goes. Like I say, and I sound like a broken record, I don't see things changing a lot this summer. So hope you have a great Monday and take on the rest of the week and have a fabulous 4th of July, whatever you're doing. Take care.